Hokies from right to left, Demon Deacons from left to right on your dial. Hokies win the opening tip, and we are underway from Blacksburg. Sean Padula to run the show. As Salas comes up close to Padula, left wing Barron, top side Kidd, send it to the right wing MJ Collins, back up top Barron, trying to drive and tried to feed Kidd down low, but intercepted by, I believe, and it was Reed the third. Salas, transition three, nylon. And there you see the turnover for the Hokies and immediate points on the opposite end for Wake Forest, and Hunter Salas already with a triple. Took a hard block from Barron, top of the key. Shifts it left for Kidd, dribbles right. Hunter Couture trying to break free. Reverse to Barron in the right wing. Trying to feed Kidd down low. Working on Efton Reed the third. Kidd, right block. Puts up a floater, and it's true. And the Hokies find their first bucket, 3-2. Deacons lead, and not even a minute gone by. Bringing it back the other way. Kevin Hoopy Miller gives it to Andrew Carr on the reverse to Hildreth. Gives it back to Miller. Hildreth left wing. Cross-court pass to Carr, trying to drive in on Barron. Right block, puts up a jumper, and rattles in and out, and Kidd there for the cleanup.
Already a quick tempo, Aiden. I feel like this is going to be a tone setter for what we see here on this Saturday evening. Sean
Padula steps to the right. He'll pull up a spot three. Misses off the front of the rim, ricochets off the glass, and Hildreth there to clean it up. Hildreth pushes. Three on the way, and airballs it. Kidd can't keep it in. No, he did keep it in play and got it to MJ Collins as Hunter Salas misfires on the far corner three.
Good job by Lynn Kidd to tiptoe that line, but keep it in right there. Give the Hokies some momentum here. Still no whistles. Both teams playing back and forth almost 2 minutes in.
Barron, feed down low for Padula. Back to Kidd and trying to go up with it. He's rejected by Salas, but got the whistle. Gonna be the first foul on Hunter Salas, first for either team in this one, and Lynn Kidd will head to the line to shoot a pair.
And when Lynn Kidd goes up to dunk it, he is a big guy at 6'10", 235. I mean, you almost kind of have to foul him because you're not going to stop him if he tries to dunk it. So that time, just try to get the hands up, stop the momentum, although the foul does go against the Demon Deacons.
Lynn Kidd, an 87% free throw shooter. First is up, and nothing but net. Tie game now, 3-all, 18-15 to go in the first half on the stalled clock. Kidd bounces once, bounces twice, puts it up, and misses hard off the back iron, so Lynn Kidd will split the difference, and we remain locked at 3. Talked already about how free throw is likely going to be huge in this one. Miller drew two Hokies for a second, gets it off to Reed. Back outside, Card on the right wing, trying to spin in the paint right at that ACC logo. Tried to feed it for Reed, and Padula takes it away. Going back quickly the other direction, Couture thought about the transition three, instead dribbles. Gives it back up to Padula, down the lane, little Euro step off for Kidd, and jams it home on the rack attack. And the Hokies have their first lead, 5-3. Ball movement's been pretty to watch for the Hokies early on as Miller back this direction, gives it to Reed, maybe had a wide open shot, instead penetrates, gives it back outside for Carr, and drains the spot up three. Dead on, and the Deacons reclaim the lead, 6-5. Both buckets for the Deacons coming on triple so far. Padula gives to Barron, who gives to Collins left wing. Trying to break free of Miller. Shifty move, getting all the way to the bucket. What a take by MJ Collins. Used the rim as an extra defender. And Virginia Tech back in front, 7-6.
MJ Collins, just a crafty finisher, showing why right there. He can really score anywhere underneath that hoop. Finds new ways to score. That's what makes him so dangerous.
Hildreth, top of the key. Gives it to his right, Miller. Now in the corner, near corner for Salas. Long three, and buries it, does Kevin Miller. All triples in the early going for the Demon Deacons.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Three-point ball been working well for Wake Forest, and it's been shooting quite well for Wake Forest.
Collins broke free of Miller. Wake Forest shot 36% from downtown the last time these two squads met. Padula into the right wing for Couture, and an offensive foul. Certainly not going to make Mike Young happy. And they're going to call it on Kidd. That's his first, so he'll head to the bench, and in comes number 34, the Rice transfer, Big Malijal Poteet.
Yeah, Lynn Kidd just doing too much on the tango there. Called for the moving screen, and it'll give the ball right back to Wake Forest. And now we'll get the chance to see the other big man in Malijal Poteet.
Hildreth gives it into Miller. Miller brings it across midcourt right back to Hildreth, and a beautiful drive down the baseline by Efton Reed III. He's got his first bucket of the night. First bucket that wasn't a three for the Demon Deacons. They've got their largest lead at 4, 11-7, 16:04 to go on the rolling clock. Poteet topside. Looking to feed it down low, gives it to Padula, coming back the other way. Down the lane, behind the head pass for Poteet, and lost it as he went up with it. Wacky sequence for the Hokies. Miller trying to go coast to coast. Instead, he'll back out. Wake Forest resets. Hildreth, cross court. Reed for 3. Buries it. It is raining threes for the Deacons. 14-7, and Wake Forest cooking early as Padula back the other way. Next whistle will be the under 16. Barron. Bounce pass for Poteet. Gives it up for Couture. Down in the left corner, Padula. Trying to dance his way through the paint. Tough shot. Fade pass to Poteet. Hook shot is rejected by Andrew Carr. 6 in the conference and blocks, and he gets another there. Miller nearly got stripped, and Poteet comes away with it, falls down, and the Hokies force the turnover.
Scrappy bowl game, Aiden. That's all I got to say.
Padula, spot up 3. You bet. From the left wing, much needed for Virginia Tech. Their first triple of the afternoon, and they're within 4, 14-10.
Both teams just cannot miss from deep. It feels like Virginia Tech shooting 50% from the three-point land, and Wake Forest 80% from deep.
Miller, a little more methodical approach here offensively. Thought about feeding to Reed. Instead goes to the right wing for Salas. Gives it back to Miller, then back to Reed. Same spot. Miller thought about the 3. Instead feeds Hildreth down near corner. Cues up another 3. You gotta be kidding me. Right in front of the Tech bench. With a little exchange afterwards by Hildreth as well. 17-10. Wake Forest extends it back to a 7-point ball game. Padula trying to penetrate the paint. Backs out. Near corner, Couture. Trying to put a move on Hildreth. Lost as he went up with it. Got it back. Looking to put up a shot and banks it in on the 2.
Both teams know it's going to be a seesaw affair, Aiden. You can't afford to miss on your possessions. You got to capitalize each and every time you're in the offensive end.
5-point ball game. 17-12. Wake Forest leads. Hildreth topside. Standing on the inverted V and VT from our vantage point. Sends it to the right for Salas. Trying to put a shake and bake on Couture. Jumps in the lane. Puts up a tough shot and knocks it down.
And you can see Aiden Mike Young telling his guys to slow it down. We still haven't hit the under 16 media timeout. Feels like we're watching an intramural basketball game here. Back and forth and back and forth.
Padula drove all the way to the bucket. Kicks it back outside for Couture, who cuts loose a 3, but misses, and Poteet can't get it back. And a whistle as Poteet ran over Andrew Carr, and that will be the under 16 timeout. Bit of incidental contact, so the Hokie crowd not happy with it. Wake Forest cooking early offensively, and Mike Young's got some words for the officials as well. Hotly contested ball game already. The Deacons with the early advantage, 19-12. Keep it here. We got a good one brewing on 3304 Sports. 2 tight end set. Holston the running back. 2 men wide right. It looks like Moss and Jaden Blue. Grant Wells fake the gift to Holston. Going to flip it out into the flat for Nick Gallo, who's chopped down by Miles Richardson, the strong safety. A short pickup on first down for Virginia Tech on that right side of the field.
Yeah, Nick Gallo came into this game leading Virginia Tech in receptions with 8 over the course of the first 2 weeks. He's got a few today, another one right there. He's been a solid emergency valve for Grant Wells.
Chance Black subs in for Holston. Bunch formation left, 1 man right. It's Christian Moss. 2nd down and 6. Wells going to throw. Only 3 men. Fires across the middle. It's a wide open Nick Gallo up across the 40 and down at the 44-yard line. Another chain mover from Virginia Tech.
And you have to think Jaden Blue making all these plays. He's drawn a fair bit of attention. He's drawn over Amir Anor in coverage. And they're lining him out wide, so it's opening up the middle of the field for Gallo.
First down at the 44. 2 tight ends set still. Black still the back. Play fake from Wells. Wells teeing it up for the deep ball. He's got Jaden Blue down the seam. Instead, he's going to go for Christian Moss, and it's tipped away at the last second. Elite coverage from the cornerback there. It looked like it was number 13, and it was Amir Anor.
Amir Anor coming over to cover Moss. Has a brother on the team, the starting safety, Tahir Anor. And the Anor family has quite a few other athletes. 2 other brothers, Radir, who played at Tennessee Tech, and Akil, who is an all-SoCon player with Furman.
Wells got hit as he threw, so that may have affected the timing there. 2 men wide left, 1 right. It's going to be a give to Holston, trying to work off the left side, but he's got no room to operate. Meets the whole of the Wofford D-line, maybe gets 1 yard, and they'll give him 1 just for his trouble. Set up 3rd down and 9 for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they're continuing to pound up the middle with Holston, and Wofford's catching on to it a little bit better.
So we'll be 2 men wide to each side. Holston still the running back for Grant Wells in the shotgun. Terriers show a 6-man blitz. But will it come? No, they bring 5. Wells has a clean pocket. Fired out to Gallo again, and it's broken up. Incomplete. In the coverage, it was John Michael DiRoberto breaking it up against the big tight end.
Yeah, now Wofford usually likes to run a 3-4 base, but looked like they were running some Tampa 2 with 4 guys on the line and then some edge rushers to make 6, and they forced Wells to make a really quick decision there, which led to the incompletion.
So will be Peter Moore on to punt once again for Virginia Tech. You and I were talking about it during the half. Virginia Tech hadn't punted all the first half, and they've already got 2 here in the second. As Moore will swing the right leg deep. Pinwheeling kick, fair catch called inside the 10. That's why he got the 25 this week. As KO waves the arm, and it will be a 1st down for Wofford at their own 6-yard line. Hokies defense has them backed up. Can they capitalize? We'll find out when we come back. The Hokies still lead at 20-0 over Wofford. We're back for the home side of the second. Leading off for Virginia Tech, the freshman by way of Denver, North Carolina, and the first baseman, a left-handed hitter, Garrett Michelle, was 1 of 3 on Tuesday. And as I alluded to earlier, that was a wacky game, especially the way it ended for Virginia Tech, as a fastball clocked at 90 in the top of the zone for strike 1. Michelle did not hack at it, nearly checked, but an 0-1 count. And that one is hacked on and missed for strike 2. And Virginia Tech, that game against James Madison, jumped out to a 3-0 lead as the 0-2 is off the plate away from Michelle for a 1-2. JMU scored 5 unanswered. Virginia Tech trailed 5-3 going into the bottom of the 8th, and it ended up being the base running that really propelled the Hokies as Michelle lines one out towards right. But chasing it down and making the grab is Mac Horvath. So 1 down already in the bottom of the second. That will signal on big 6'7" Brody Dene, the catcher for the Hokies. A freshman batting a .299. A right-handed hitter at that from Lakeland, Florida. First offering he takes, finds the top shelf of the zone, strike 1. An 0-1 count for Dene. And Virginia Tech got on base, loaded the bases, as Dene flies that one over the stands here for strike 2. An 0-2 count for Brody Dene. Made it 5-4 on a bases-loaded balk. Tied the game on a bases-loaded walk. Took the lead on another bases-loaded walk, and then a single. And speaking of, Dene laces one into shallow left center, and the first hit for either team of the day, and it comes off the bat of Brody Dene. So the Hokies have a man aboard. 1-out single by Brody Dene. And all 4 hitters for Virginia Tech had been retired up until that point. No one had gotten on base for either team. So now maybe Virginia Tech has something cooking with Dene on base. And up next it will be Christian Martin. All told, Virginia Tech would get a RBI single as that first pitch to Martin. Just a hair close to being off the plate is called strike 1, an 0-1 count for Martin. Virginia Tech went on to win 7-5 as Martin skies this one out, and it will get down in right field at the feet of Horvath. Dene legging it out past second, and into third. He's safe, but the ball got away from the third baseman. Dene trying to get up, but thinks better of it, and Martin on into second, and the Hokies have something cooking. Christian Martin lined that one out into right field, stopped right in front of Horvath, and Brody Dene, his all 6'7" of him, was lumbering towards third, dove on it. Ball got away from Johnny Castanazzi, but Casey Cook kept Dene from getting any further. So it'll go down as a one-out double for Christian Martin. So 2 Hokies in scoring position, and on steps Eddie Eisert, the right fielder transfer from NC State, the junior batting .267 this season. No move to have a talk with Bavere as that one dipped well below the zone into the dirt, but Eisert chased it. So an 0-1 count for Eddie Eisert. Connor Bavere in a bit of a pinch here with 1 out and both Hokie runners in scoring position. Dene at third, Martin at second. Same pitch, same swing, same result. Eisert trying to bring some runs across. Must have gotten the green light before stepping to the plate, and he's behind 0-2. Bavere has that one high and away from Eisert, a 1-2, as number 11 in maroon and white trying to battle back here. Eisert in a big spot early. The 1-2 pitch is down and in. That was the same pitch that Eisert chased 2 times prior, but lets it be, and the count's 2-2. Eisert has battled back to make it a 2-2 count. Bavere delivers. Eisert loops one, and it's going to be foul all the way, and it's going to die in the Hokie bullpen. Takes a bounce as the chase is on for the young fans that showed out today. Will stay a 2-2 count for Eisert. Scoreboard shows an impromptu full count. Maybe they know something that we don't. Eisert lines this one, and it's fair. Dene will score. Martin's getting waved around third. Eisert bound for second, slides in. He is safe. A 2 RBI, 1-out double for Eddie Eisert. And the Hokies draw first blood. And what an at-bat from Eddie Eisert. Was down in the count 0-2, battled back to make it a 2-2, and just laced that one, a roller into center field that scores Dene and Martin. And Eisert now finds himself parked at second. Looked like it was going to be a defensive showdown through the first 2.5 innings, but all of a sudden Virginia Tech, 3 hits, and they're up 2-0 as that pitch down and away from the right-handed next man up, the right-handed hitter Clay Grady, playing shortstop today, number 9 for Virginia Tech. A fun football-filled weekend across the Commonwealth of Virginia, a bit of a wet and wild one as well. Mother Nature certainly put her stamp on this week. To kick things off, the Virginia Tech Hokies hosted the Purdue Boilermakers out of the Big Ten. Orange effect conditions in Blacksburg. An inclement weather delay was called during the pregame with kickoff delayed by roughly 15 minutes. Just a few minutes off schedule, no big deal, right? Wrong. The Boilermakers marched down the field on their opening drive, then Devin Mockabee punched it in from 21 yards out. That Purdue running game would prove to be a difference maker. Purdue would get the ball back, and in the midst of their second drive with less than 6 minutes remaining in the first, another weather delay with spectators told to take shelter. To quote Forrest Gump, one day it started raining. Deluge season came to Blacksburg. The game would resume over 5.5 hours later. Game day personnel, fans, and teams of both parties deserve a special shout out for sticking it out and still putting the game on. 6:15 the official time, the game would resume. Purdue, following a pick, would kick a field goal, and later Tyrone Tracy Jr. added a 21-yard touchdown scamper of his own. All of a sudden, 17-0 in favor of the visitors. The Hokies were resilient, however. Bayshall Tootin on 4th down, a 30-yard catch and run for the score. Next Boilermaker possession, Tech would come up with a 4th down stop to add a field goal of their own. Another stalled Purdue drive later, and Grant Wells found Jalen Lane for the touchdown pass, and we got ourselves a tie game. Second half was a Big Ten taffy pull, though. The Hokies were never really able to get back the advantage on offense. Jump ahead to the 4th, Hudson Card strikes with his feet and gets in to give Purdue back the lead. The Hokies couldn't complete the comeback. They fall 24-17. They're on the road next week against Rutgers. Heading up the road for an emotional day in Charlottesville. First home game for the Cavaliers after the tragic shooting last year. They welcomed in the James Madison Dukes. It was the Dukes early and often. Taji Hudson with the strike to Phoenix Sproles on some trickeration. Then a blocked punt and recovered for a touchdown by D'Angelo Pons just like that, and it was 14-0. Tony Muskett out for Virginia. They turned a true freshman, Andrew Colandrea, who found Malik Washington for a 63-yard score. first of 2 on the day for Colandrea. Then after a Dukes field goal, Mike Hollins got the rock. A lot of touchdowns in this one, but none bigger and more heartfelt than that one. Colandrea then hit Kobe Pace, who took it for the 75-yard house call. The Cavs take their first lead 21-17. Not the last of Kobe Pace. He would take it in on the ground to make it 28-17 Cavs. Later on, both teams exchanged rushing touchdowns. Tyson Lawton for the Dukes and Mike Hollins with his second of the day for Virginia. 35-24 in favor of the home side, but then a 73-minute delay put the game on hold. The Dukes answered the call. Back-to-back 80-yard drives. Tyson Lawton took it in one more time from 27 away. Madison got it back and marched right down yet again. Jordan McLeod connected with Kalen Black. McLeod finished his day with 224 and that score. James Madison gets the win against in-state foe Virginia. Dukes improved to 2-0 while the Cavs dropped to 0-2. Good news for UVA, however, they may have found their quarterback of the future in Andrew Colandrea. They are in College Park to face Maryland next week, while JMU is down in Alabama to face Troy. Finally, back to the Valley in Lynchburg. The Liberty Flames in their Conference USA opener hosting the New Mexico State Aggies. It was a back-and-forth first half. The Aggies drew first blood with Jamani Jones taking it in on the ground for a 10-yard score. The Flames responded in kind with Caden Salter airing it out for 40 yards to C.J. Daniels' 7-all ball game after one. After an Aggies field goal, Salter said, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and took it in on the ground. Extra point was blocked, though. Diego Pavia, the quarterback for New Mexico State, found Trent Hudson from 13 yards out to put the Aggies back in front. Flames not feeling the heat. Time for another sprinkling of salt. Bentley Hanshaw, the recipient on the next go-around on a 24-yard toss from Salter. Liberty would tack on a field goal following an interception to head into the locker room up 23-17. The Aggies would turn it over twice in the third quarter. Caden Salter took it in himself yet again. 4-touchdown day for the sophomore. The Flames defense put their foot down in the second half. 33-17 the final as Liberty advances to 2-0. Liberty, like the Hokies, Hoos, and Dukes, is on the road as well next week. They will be going against the Buffalo Bulls. Now to go over some in-state FCS scores. William and Mary knocked off Wofford at home 23-6. They're at Charleston Southern next week, who, keep in mind, had an interesting first half against Clemson, gave the Tigers a bit of a scare. Richmond traveled north and did not fare well against the Michigan State Spartans, a 45-14 loss. The Spiders up next look to spin a web at home against the Delaware State Hornets. Norfolk State and Hampton with an in-state battle. The Spartans get the victory 31-23. They'll head to Philly to go against the Temple Owls, while Hampton is in D.C. to go against Howard. Finally, VMI on the road against Bucknell, 21-13. The Keydets have an ACC battle coming up with North Carolina State. That just about covers it. I'm Aiden Butler. Thanks for listening in. We'll be back with more Virginia college football this time next week.